This is to my unborn son. My mom, your grandmother, used to tell me that eyes are like windows that hold beauty within them, and already I know yours are like immortal comets lying in elliptical orbits of those sockets. They hold your mother's love, your father's faith, and passion that can mirror Tupac's in your pupils, so no one can say to you that you ain't about shit. The definition of real is sealed underneath your marrow, so whenever your bones have the audacity to be malleable, just remember that time heals all fractures, no matter how unforgiving it portrays up to be. But in the meantime, I want you to be careful around the monkey bars in our backyard, yet still hold curiosity of all the things around you. In our home, we'll hold a library shelving Hemingway, Huxley, and Hughes, Dr. Du Bois and Dr. Seuss, Nikki Giovanni and Audre Lorde, and we will have vinyl records and CDs playing things like Beethoven and Billie Holiday, Marvin Gaye, Miles Davis, Section 80, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and Nas's Illmatic, so you can see the gorgeousness within the classics the same way my mama taught me. And when you're in your teens, I want you to read Native Son and Invisible Man so you can understand the plight of those before you and why I work so hard for our future, to give you twice as many options that I did before. And if someone tells you that this is a man's world, I have to pause at that statement for a minute, because how do you tell a boy that James Brown will never really know the bittersweet poetry of childbirth and raising one? That those 9 months begin with secrets shared between me and his father, ones I don't regret telling him, that those 9 months of an obese addiction to buttermilk pancakes with extra syrup, hormonal roller coasters of conflicting emotions, the 20-something hours of contractions were all for you to be the strength in my poems. So I never want you to take a woman's position for granted. I never want you to treat her like a Disney princess, because those are associated with simple colors and her submitting some precious things like her voice and freedom, and they try to disguise them as happy endings. I want to teach you better than that. Instead, play her backbone whenever her dreams seem spineless to her. Love her 5 times more on days when she doesn't feel like a goddess. Those days when her stretch marks and scars are sharing an inside joke with the mirror. Treat her like you treat your mama and your sisters, like someone with respect. But the lesson that I want to stress to you, my son, is being black does not equate to being a nigger. And if someone tells you otherwise, I want you to tell him the etymology of that word and how those loops of those roots form nooses for us and trap some of us with a mentality that doesn't start revolutions. Instead, it causes cyclic rhythms that some cannot or choose not to leave. And if he tries to make it into something positive and begin it with my, tell him that's like trying to make something beautiful out of bullshit and a racial epithet like a gospel, because his decomposing tongue doesn't know the difference between fertilizer and garbage, so he is not growing. So son, never let these gold rings and 2 chains handcuff and Willie Lynch you. You are meant for something brighter. You are meant for something greater. But son, I'm not asking you to be a warrior, because sometimes those ethics are double-edged swords you may fall upon. Instead, I want you to cry upon my shoulder whenever your pride tries to show an ugly side with green irises and a Glasgow smile, and stargaze concepts as great as Janelle Monáe's interpretations of situations in Metropolis, things almost bigger than you. That way, you will know they cost more than just $1 and a dream. That way, when your inches near the finish line and your feet are tired, but your heart still wants to pound the pavement because you know that you just gotta make it. Son, I'm not asking you to be perfect. All I'm asking for you is to be yourself in a world that says to do the opposite. So never show half-assed composites of anything. Give all of you to those deserving and compose unnerving food for thought and call it shock value. But until then, when the right man comes for me, I'll be creating a home perfect for you and your siblings, and even though you haven't been thought of yet,